So Luke tells us in the 23rd chapter of his gospel that says, "The crowd watched and the leaders scoffed. He saved others," they said. "Let him save himself. He's really God's Messiah, chosen one." The soldiers mocked him too by offering him a drink of sour wine. They called out to him, "If you're the king of the Jews, save yourself." A sign was fastened above him with these words, "This is the King of the Jews." One of the criminals hanging beside him scoffed, "So you're the Messiah, are you? Prove it by saving yourself and us too while you're at it." But the other criminal protested, "Don't you fear God, even when you've been sentenced to die? We deserve to die for our crimes, but this man hasn't done anything wrong." Then he said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." And Jesus replied, "I assure you, today you will be with me in paradise." Now the criminal on the cross who mocked Jesus and challenged him to save himself and those crucified with him, he's not in the scriptures to convince us that Jesus questioned himself or his mission. No, this man and his words aren't in scripture to convince Jesus to save himself. Nothing was going to keep Jesus from fulfilling God's will. This man's words, this criminal's words, were recorded in Scripture so that we would know that Jesus could have saved himself at any point in time, but he still chose the death of the cross to save us all, so that one day we'd be able to believe and confess that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, who was crucified, died, and rose again to the glory of God the Father. The words spoken by that criminal weren't spoken to remind Jesus of who he was. They weren't spoken for Jesus' benefit. They were spoken for ours, so that we would know that Jesus could have saved himself, and he didn't. Think about that. Meditate on it. Let it sink in, and let the finished work of Christ that paid the price for our redemption and our reconciliation to God, by nailing the sin of the world to the cross, and let that sink in, and let that strengthen your faith and give you renewed hope every day. God bless and keep you all.